Waffle, Jamie's Waffle Express. But yep, that's what I'm doing right now, guys. So how's it going, everybody? And Eric, it looks like you're back out in your home office. How did the move go?
It was hot. I wish I could say it was done, but it's going.
Yeah.
Yep, it's never a dull moment.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, some of the things that you have to do things, and sometimes you just have to do it on your own. And I guess that's what happened with you, my friend. Sometimes it's hard work. Wait, workers are hard to find.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's funny. I'm trying to think about the last two or three moves for offices that we've done over the years. I don't know that I did more. It's crazy times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you're going to be closer to home. I think that's a win for you in the business, so you don't have to travel too far.
Absolutely. So you know what? In fact, it's on me because I'm running far behind today. But we need to find out what today is.
Let's do it, man. I'm pretty sure it's going to have to deal with food.
It always. What doesn't deal with food, my friend?
I think that's the happiest thing that is actually good for people in general is just thinking about food, thinking about, you know,
Oh no, you ruined it for me.
oh no,
National Eat Your Vegetables Day.
there you go. Eric, vegetables are good, man. I don't know about you, but have you ever had a smoothie with either kale or spinach?
I have. They're pretty good, but I'd
They
still
are.
rather
They're
have
very
chocolate
good.
cake.
that's not that's not your forte, man.
The chocolate cake is. Have you ever had a smoothie with chocolate cake in it?
Yeah, yeah, but Eric, have you ever? My thoughts are on vegetables. It really, honestly, goes with the idea of salsa. Obviously being a Spanish Mexican descent, um, you know, salad was never really like a thing. I don't think. I mean, not from my perspective, but what we did have, I think it was really honestly the first smoothie with a little bit of spice in it. Because that salsa, man, it blends up, man. And guess what? It's vegetables. It's very good for you, and so therefore we got this.
No complaints here. Vegetables are absolutely good for you, but I've never seen hot sauce that can't go on everything.
Yeah, it can't go on everything, but once again, just take out the hot spot part of it, and then we're good to go, man. We're good to go. It basically just it's a salad. It's a salad. I'm gonna say it's a salad. You got all your salad stuff that's in it. It's a salad. But that's just for me to say. So, anyways, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to really honestly put together for today's little like what is happening. So, basically, the weather is going to be first on the list. It is supposed to be. It was supposed to be really, really windy yesterday, and I didn't get not too much out of that. I really didn't see too much of that wind that they were projecting. So maybe we have to wait for it for today. Who knows? But
Last night it rolled in. At least where I'm at, it came in pretty good in the evening.
okay, yeah, I didn't get the chance to hear that to see that. We had to get to bed pretty early so we could get up early, so we could get the whole sedation going and stuff. So here we are, man. This is a new word. Um, so I ended up having a letter sent to me from Dr. Bloom, Nancy Bloom, and she wrote something, Eric, and I swear, man, it was pretty like eye opening. Um, and she starts off with just talking to people about the numbers that are occurring, and in the middle of it, it kind of twists. It turns to a different like thought, and I look at it and I read it, and I'm like, it's kind of like jaw dropping. So if you guys want to go ahead and read that letter from Dr. Nancy Bloom, you're more than welcome to. I just posted it this morning, and it's
What are the highlights? Give us the
the
highlights. And I take it we're
the
talking about COVID, right? When you say talk about the
yes.
numbers, we could be talking about protests. We could be talking about COVID. We could be talking about the economy. I mean, everything is
Yes.
crazy right now.
Yes, and we are talking about COVID. Obviously, I've been talking with her since the beginning of time of this start, and then she got into it and says she was like, okay, this is very serious, and she's actually been exposed to it, and I think she actually contracted the COVID. I could be totally wrong. I got to make sure that she has stated that, but she basically was talking about how the numbers were out there, how the ICU beds or the beds that were supposed to take care of said people are out there and they're getting filled up. But what is not being mentioned is that the those beds get occupied on a regular basis right before COVID because there's a lot of people that have actually breathing problems. They have issues, underlining issues, is what the proper term is, and it was said that where are those numbers? Where are the numbers for the actual flu that is coming in? Where are those numbers happening? And at the end of the whole thing, she says, "This is what I want to leave you with," and that's kind of like the mic drop right there. She goes, "Y- We question the idea of what is actually really being talked about, and those numbers that are actually happening are kind of like being misplaced because hospitals and whoever is putting these numbers out there are actually getting paid more money for these actual cases. So that's how the whole thing's ends. So it brings up a question, and I'm sitting there like,
So,
what
well,
is
San
she
Martin,
just?
I see both sides. I hear both sides, right? We talk about both sides.
Yep,
I'm hearing people locally that are going in for tests, and it's 14 days to get a test. That's insane. When they're out,
yep.
the media's out there talking about you can go in and get a test in 40 minutes. That's just not happening.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's just weird all the way around, Eric. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if I were in the field of being in medical, excuse me, oh gosh, excuse me, guys, I would actually be 100%, like really taking in account, some of the things that are actually supposed to be happening on a regular basis and calling the numbers as they are. When money is involved, it seems like a lot of things go a little sideways. So who's to say what is actually really happening? But it's always
you
being
and
safe
I,
than
San Martin,
sorry.
we've talked about it, right? There's reports out there of people that get it, and if you have to go in the ICU with COVID, it's going to cost you $1 million. I
Yep,
mean, so and who has $1 million, right? Just laying around that
yep,
they pay a
yep.
medical bill, and who knows if insurance is going to cover this stuff. And so while they say they're getting extra money to classify stuff as COVID, okay, if the person can't pay $1 million, who's actually getting paid?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, our medical system is a little bit messed up and stuff. So I really don't know, man. I just try to avoid every place that has, a lot of sick people going to. So I avoid the hospital. I avoid things that actually get me, or will get me sick or injured or hurt or whatever it may be. So, I mean, I'm on a whole different level, man, just trying to keep myself safe. And, I obviously see everybody that is chatting and going about their days. I mean, I even had one person on my newsfeed today was like, "I'm gonna hurt everybody that's not wearing a mask." And don't be stupid. This is what's happening. That's what's happening. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Because he just doesn't want to be around anybody. But Eric, this is once again, we've been talking about it ever since it started, and we realize that this is something that is just unheard of, something that has never been talked about, done. I mean, we've obviously had throughout the years, the flu come through, and it hurts a lot of people, it damages them. But yeah, guys, I suggest you go read that and just decipher yourself. She's local, so when they're local, you could actually reach out and touch these people and talk with them. And she's actually a really cool doctor. She actually is one of those doctors where you think about it from like back in the days, where she does the home visits like that. So if you guys need a good home doctor, she's still taking in new clients or new patients, and she does really well as far as keeping them all informed. And if you need to talk with her, she replies with through text, via phone calls. She has an assistant. Um, and there's all these things that she has, and she's capable and able. One of the crazy things she does is she does a monthly payment to her, and you're able to utilize her for a lot of things. So it's kind of a different way of how she does her doctoring, but I guess she doesn't accept any insurance. So that's kind of like the stipulation that she has. So hey, Rich, what's going on, man? Coffee shop is in the car today, my friend. He's like, "Where's a coffee shop at?" So, anyways, that kind of that story, that actual letter that she wrote, it's kind of jaw dropping, and it still makes you question, everything that's going on. So, once again, it's better to be. I'm gonna just try to put it together, and we'll film it live and see if
Yeah,
we can get
that'd be
something
good.
going. Good
Uh,
morning, Nicole.
Real quick, you know, to note, they did release numbers yesterday, and the numbers for Yavapai County are still only a 2% fatality rate, and so it's just under 2%. So I mean, just so everybody knows, that's what it is locally. But at the same time, I think our testing is really there is some funky stuff going on with the numbers, San Martin, and how tests are happening. I mean, I look at Phoenix's numbers, and you look at the number of tests per people and things like, it's just we seem like we're not on the same page, and so I'm cautious about the numbers.
Yeah, and you also got to think about that Prescott or Phoenix is way more populated than Prescott is, and so I don't know, Eric. It's just one of those things. And I was actually in the beginning. We talk about how my math skills were off in high school. I never really liked the freaking subject, but this is a whole nother level of like, what the heck? I actually put a math question on my Facebook page to kind of joke around. And I mean, I only joke because it's just easing my pain, as far as like what is really going on in our world. So if anybody gets offended on that, I'm very, very sorry. It's not my main goal. My main goal is just to kind of like ease up the scenario. But it was such a thing of mathematical, like what you have to not only watch the math, but you also have to watch the words. So the English language has a lot of different, like, variations, and that was one of the things that was in that math question. And I posted it, and nobody really seen the joke that I was putting on it, because it's just the funniest thing ever. And I mean, just like, five cows walk in here, five cows walk out of here, 10 cows or zebras walk over here. And it was just like so over the board and stuff that I felt like exactly how the COVID-19 reports are coming out, man. It's just like, what the heck? There's so many numbers thrown at us. It's just out of control. And we're just sitting here like this. And I remember when we were talking, what was her name? From the Yavapai County Health Department. I was like, "This, how do you count this?" I just put up my hands to start counting. If one person has COVID, gets healed, that number should come off, right? I mean, that number should just come
Oh, we were
off.
talking to Leslie when we interviewed Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie. Yeah, there you go,
Leslie
Leslie Horton.
Horton. Yeah.
Yeah, so I look at that, and I'm like, oh well, if that's the case, that should have happened. Like, this is exactly what should have happened. Is that whenever somebody gets healed after 14 days, that number should come off. So I don't know, guys. I have a different perspective of a lot of things, but once again, who knows? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a geologist. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any of those skills. So I mean, just once again, I just common sense, and I feel my body, and that's how I go off of things. So,
So hey,
anyways,
I got some news updates here real quick. One of them is national, but it affects us. So yesterday they signed into law the Animal Abuse Act, and so that means it is a federal felony if you get caught abusing an animal. So that's a great thing. It's been a long time coming. It is now officially law nationwide. So if there's any animal abuse, it's now a federal felony. And that's everywhere, including Prescott Valley, Chino. So that's not just a local misdemeanor crime anymore.
wow, that's insane, man. I mean, jeez, I think it's needed anyway. So that's not like a big subject to kind of like be like, oh gosh, not another law. I think that's actually needed because animals, their lives. We want to take care of them. I mean, even though we eat a lot of meat, trying to take care of every animal is going to be kind of like weird. I guess the domesticated ones are the ones we worry about a little bit more than. Well, no, I think they all got their fair share. So, anyways, that's kind of cool, Eric, that actually passed. So we have a lot of like new things that are actually popping up. But once again, been watching some of the stuff that has been happening across our nation, and I'm just like, wow, man, this is crazy. And just can't wait to see the next episode in this crazy world that we're living in right now.
I hear you. So hey, locally, the farmers market in Prescott, over at Yavapai County, our college reopens this Saturday.
Nice. That is
They're
definitely
going to have
needed.
some modified hours and some modified stuff, but they're finally getting back to their norm.
That's good. That's good. Eric, Prescott Valley is very beautiful, man. I mean, we're out here today, and it's actually really nice, kind of calm, collective. So it's good to be out here. How's my sound? How does my video look?
Your video's choppy. It's like we're talking to you on a 1990s international satellite, and your audio's okay, but we can hear you. We can see you. It's not the end of the
That
world.
that works out, man. Yeah, Prescott Valley has been always like that place where it just doesn't have great service, but it's showing that I have 5G. So anybody that was worried about 5G, guess what? It's already here. My phone is showing it, and I don't know. I might
It's
be on it.
workable, but not great. So speaking of Prescott Valley, we talked about this offline yesterday. There is a lot of candidates for Prescott Valley City Council this year. Wow, they're
Yeah,
young, they're older, they're all across the board.
yeah. Yeah, they are, Eric. And like I said, last year, when or 2 years ago, or however many years, when we put Cal Palaguda, we when the expectation was is that there's going to be a shoe in, is what the word was called, a shoe in for one of the current councilmen, and that shoe in definitely went a different direction. So it's kind of crazy to see that this is the first year that so many people were really, really are wanting to be on that council. So once again, we're going to try to expose everybody and get that up there. We just added a page on the Prescott Times, and I think we dubbed it the political zone, and it's only going to be covering, the local and Yavapai County, the 863 area. Of course, we could go ahead and step up, but I think that's just too much for me to get involved in. But not saying that it won't happen, guys. Somebody that is very political will probably step into that place and like to go ahead and talk about it. Hopefully, I can find somebody that is non-biased, which is really hard, especially in the political world. I
It
mean, I
is.
can't find anybody that's interested in one
Well,
of
and
two
the cool
sides.
thing is I'd love to interview these people because first of all, I know nothing about them, right? And their views and things like that. So I think it's a great time to learn about them and do interviews and things like that because nobody really knows.
I think we should do that. I need to get a list of all those people as soon as possible, so we could go ahead and just start reaching out to them, and then we'll start putting them on. Maybe we could go even and have our own question answer for the whole council, just because we could do that. But we'll try to get into it. Like once again, guys, I'm not a really political big guy, but we when it comes down to local, I think we should really be involved because once again the city municipality is something that you really, really take care of. It all starts
Most
here,
of
my
the
friends.
laws that affect us, that really affect us, are at the local level. I mean, so a lot of people get all involved in the presidential elections and things like that. But unlike this last law that was just passed, where the Animal Abuse Act, there's very few that actually touch your life on a daily basis, and all those laws are happening at a local level.
Yeah, and it's true, Eric. I mean, we obviously have to go ahead and watch who we put into our place, such as what is happening in Seattle. The city council and the mayor told everybody to stand down, and I, the local municipality is the one that's running that little town, that city or whatever, and that's who allowed it. So I really don't know exactly what to say, but there's a lot of power in our municipality. So make sure that you guys put those people that you want in there, and we'll try to expose every one of them to see who in the heck they are, what they're doing, what their roles are, and we definitely want to
It is
expose.
funny. You're without you telling me what's going on up there. It doesn't come across my news feed or anything at all. I'm shocked.
It's not because they're not putting it into what do you call it, Eric? They have never actually put it out there for. I'm gonna get out. It's getting hot in the car. They never really put it out there, Eric. The reason why is because I don't think Prescott Valley was actually seeing um, a great response, or they never wanted to bring it out to everybody because of whatever reasoning. So I mean, it's been like that for years, but now that we're actually getting into a position where we obviously have the what do you call it, um, the opportunity to make change now. That's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, making change is something that is definitely what everybody is wanting and needing, but the special change is what we are actually looking for. I mean, we have to have, like, this type of what would you call it, interaction in our towns, because once again, we don't want things to happen as if they did in Seattle. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy, you know.
Yeah, I think things are already pretty crazy, and so yeah, adding fuel to the fire basically.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, we'll try to get a little bit more info on them. We'll try to share as much as possible. I know a few already have come out and wanted me to help them with their elections, but
Mhm.
I haven't heard anything back
Do you
because
have
I don't
the
do.
total number of candidates running, and does Prescott and Chino have some stuff going on too? Because all I've seen, all the signs, all the billboards, everything has been Prescott Valley.
Yeah, yeah. Chino Valley is actually they got, I think, four four, 2 or 4 seats available out there, man. So that could change the dynamics of Chino Valley in a very, very quick way. They want to keep it 100% good old boy town. They don't want to move forward with anything. But as you see, houses are growing up. The hospitals are going up. Hotels are going up. Uh, New rentals are going up. Prescott Valley is a great location to check out the growth because it's actually really growing in a very, very fast way. And as we said yesterday, that they're building that new $4 million water tank up there on Glassford Hill.
Mhm.
Um, uh, and obviously they're preparing. We were talking about that infrastructure that needed to prepare for those people in those times, and there you guys go, they're starting.
Roads,
So
we got to fix the roads.
yeah, fix those roads, man. The main roads, going from here to, I think, back by the Civic Center, they're all good. But everything in between all that, no
Well, just
bueno, man.
it's just traffic. I mean, even coming back yesterday, it's like one of those things. It's like, do I add 12 miles to my trip and go all the way around on the 89? And I was like, it's 4:30. Yep, yes I do. I'm gonna go all the way around and add 12 miles to my trip so I don't have to get stuck in that traffic mess.
He's like, yeah, yeah, and once again, I think I got another uh, notification saying that the roads are a lot of roads are closing around Arizona because of these fires. So make sure before you guys start traveling across the town or the state to check those reports. And a good app to have is ADOT. 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 And then you put your little places that you want to go ahead and monitor, and they will alert you for that. So you guys don't have to call them or anything. It would just come up on your automation. So that's kind of cool.
I have that app too, and yeah, 3 roads are closed going up to Payson. In fact, I was at Deer Valley Airport, is where I was yesterday, and you can see all the smoke way over there past Fountain Hills from that fire. And then, of course, Tucson's on fire. I mean, if you've been up by Sunset Point lately, that whole area, there's slurry on the highway. That's how fresh the fires were up there. And so it's
Wow.
everywhere. It's dry. The wind is. You were talking about apps. There's actually an app from the government called Code Red, and if you put that on your phone, if there's a fire in your area or there's evacuation warnings, it'll ping your phone. So that's called Code Red.
Wow. Wow. I mean, there's a lot of create little apps. I mean, there's also an app for COVID-19 that's dropped into your guys' phones. I don't know if you guys seen that yet, but it's there. With or without you wanting to know.
Yep. Lots of stuff there. So anyway, don't worry. I don't think Code Red's tracking you. So it's definitely just a good, useful app. If a fire goes out, you're in your area, you're nearby, and that's a reminder, everybody. I'm seeing it in the camping group, San Martin. So many people are like, hey, is so and so forest? Can I do a fire? And it's like, no, the whole state is under a fire ban right now.
Yeah,
So there's
it was
people.
it was kind of it was kind of funny. There was actually a post in the Prescott group, and somebody's like, "Can you shoot guns in the forest?"
Saw that too.
And and everybody, some guy was in there like, they were saying no, and somebody was like, wrong, 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 and I'm like, geez, why can't anybody just say the answer? Like, no, you can't do it right now. Yes, you could do it later.
Yeah,
And some people were trying to get that across, but some guy was in there just constantly just saying, no, you're wrong. And I'm just like, geez, guys, he just wants an answer.
yeah,
Right now, man, do not fire any weapons in the forest at all. It's not allowed. It's not going to be allowed. And you're not even allowed to be smoking outside of your car or
correct.
outside of a designated area, like on your front porch.
Yep.
So, I mean, I seen a guy on the corner of the street the other day. Obviously, it was downtown Prescott, but he was lighting up. without even acknowledging, the rules and regulations of it. So, some people, they just don't know these questions or these answers to these questions, and sometimes people are not even questioning it. They're just like, whatever.
It's because it changes, right? 6 weeks ago, it was okay.
Yeah,
Now it's not. And so, that's the thing to be aware of. It is statewide, so just don't do it. And yes, this stuff is normally legal, but right now, when you're under a fire ban, a bullet, a cigarette butt, it doesn't take much with that wind that we were talking about to light the whole forest on fire.
yeah, it's not a good thing, man. Not a good thing, Eric. So, Eric, the events that are happening this weekend, where one, we have the movie still going on over at Kinley Field. So, to let you guys know that that's still going on. I think it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Go
Hey, has
check
the
that
picture
out.
show opened back up yet or no?
I haven't got word about that. Is they said they were going to, but I don't know, Eric.
What about
I lost.
AMC in Prescott Valley? Any word on
Uh,
that?
yep, I haven't heard anything, my friend.
Okay,
But I know the ones at Kinley Field this weekend are going to be up and roaring on Friday, I think. So if you guys want to go out and take your friends out or family out, pop yourself out there on the thing. I heard it was a great time. I was out of town, so I wasn't able to go. But I might check it out this week, see what happens.
cool. And then just coming up, we've got the boot race that they've got. I think they do that on the 4th of July. That's been canceled.
Yes, that was completely canceled, man. So that kind of sucks. I mean, that's been a tradition for years. So that is right immediately right after the freaking parade. Everybody goes over there, and that's like kind of like the spectacle. When you watch your little child in those little boots that you bought him for
Yep.
the 4th of July. Yeah, I can't do that this year.
Yeah, and they're still doing
So
the parade though, but they said that submissions to the floats and stuff are way down, and they said they've got to social distance the parade. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's on.
I don't know how you social distance the parade. Like, what is the? Oh my gosh, Eric. No, I mean, some of these rules and laws and stuff that are just rules, I guess, are coming up. It's just really honestly devastating the communities and people because, like I said, the other guy was like, "I'm gonna kill you if you're not wearing a mask," and I'm like, "Gosh, it's
Well,
so
the thing,
extreme."
the thing is that they're not the same and they're not fair to everybody. I mean, how could 2 months ago you couldn't have? I mean, you've gone into local shops. At most, there's maybe two or three people downtown in a local shop at any given time. But yet, then we can have a parade where we're standing arm to arm to each other. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, you can't punish the safer events. You can't punish them and then allow something that's more dangerous because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I-
Or Walmart or Home Depot that you can go there with where there's 50 people in the store, but you can't go to a downtown shop where there was three people. It just didn't make any sense.
Eric, there's more than 50 people in the store, man. I'm just gonna say it right now. There's just more than 50 people. I think Home Depot was counting people in Prescott Valley, but in Prescott, nah, you come in. I mean, it looked like they were counting, but who knows? I really don't know the significance of that. But I don't know, man. I think it doesn't matter. If somebody was in there prior to that, you're gonna get caught. Well, if that app was up, you would be warned that you were near or you were in contact with the person that had COVID
I
19.
think it works in the past. I mean, so I don't know. I haven't downloaded it myself, but I think it doesn't tell you until after they get diagnosed. So it tracks everybody who's interfaced with, and once somebody's been infected, they push a button on the app, and it notifies everybody in the past. So there's no prevention.
Scary, scary world that we live in. Um,
So also on the 4th of July, because that's coming up fast. I mean, today is so the Saturday is summer solstice, Sunday is Father's Day, and 4th of July is right around the corner. And they are going to do parades. It doesn't, or not parades, the 4th of July fireworks. Prescott Valley, Chino, they've all greenlit it. I know Prescott's event is cut short this year. It's only 3 to 9. I think last year it was all day.
oh wow. Ay, ay. I guess it's the new world that we live in, Eric, and we just got to live it. Anyways, I think I also have another thing for the business spotlight. One of the cool things that have happened in Prescott is that there's a lot of businesses that are out there that are in need. And one of them is the Attic, the Carino creative space downtown Prescott. Giving them shout out today. They're actually our sponsors for this video this morning. And I tell you what, guys, it's a good spot. Not only are they tattoo artists in the daytime, but it actually turns into a small like speakeasy nightclub slash entertainment night spot for downtown Prescott. And if you don't know where they're at, they're right there where the old uh, Coyote Joe's used to be. I want to go through all the list of names that have been there, but they're right there downtown on Montezuma Street. So it's going to be south of Whiskey Row. So if you guys ever want to go there, check them out. They're upstairs.
So speaking of right in that same building right there, it looks like. Do you know we're getting an arcade?
No, I didn't know that.
Yep, at right there, 222.5 South Montezuma Street. We're getting a Hideaway Arcade, is
Oh
what it's
wow,
called. And so, yeah, they'll have pinball machines, it looks like, and arcade stuff. I don't think they're open yet, but I know it's coming. I saw that the other day.
that's cool, man. I mean, we need that, but once again, I don't think we're going to be able to utilize it until after COVID-19 moves on.
Right, but it's still cool to have that's exciting. That's a cool place to have right there on Montezuma.
Yeah, well, you know that. Okay, so you know that little that game store that's up at there at the mall that
Yes.
has all the pinballs and stuff.
Yep.
We spoke to one of the owners, and she was like, during COVID, we ended up having like the greatest month ever.
I
It
believe
was
it.
like the best month ever, and it was obviously like it was suited because a lot of people were just moving forward and doing things at home, so they might as well have just put themselves at home and had a good time. So that's kind of cool to hear. You know, some people were actually doing better than they thought.
It's funny, San Martin. I love people studies and things like that. And I read an article a couple of months ago that post the 2008 recession, more people started spending money outside the home. So instead of entertaining themselves at their home, they would go out and spend money at movies and entertainment out and food out and things like that. And the theory is that this COVID situation is going to make them return to spending money in their home, just like you talked about.
Yeah, that 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 is kind of crazy how it all just turned and evolved into something different. I mean, a lot of things that just turned into something different, Eric. I mean, it's just so amazing to see how fast it's crazy to change the direction of where we're going. You know, I mean, I'm just like I'm wowed by it. You know, so I kind of feel good about what is happening, but at the same time, you know, we'll see what it actually brings out in us. So we'll just monitor it and just take care of it. So,
So
what else did I have on there?
you know you've got a sign above your head that says "Doctors Only Parking" where you're parked, right?
I'm a doctor, my friend.
You and
I'm a
every other
doctor.
Facebook warrior.
Yeah, there we go. See, I finally got my sign, guys, so I'm official. I guess that what makes a lot of people official. They just buy a sign. I don't know if you've seen, or actually, there's a podcast, and it deals with like sociopath, and murders and stuff like that, and they go over all these old time videos, or old time stories. And one of them was this guy was so crazy that he really thought that he was a doctor. And one of the crazy parts about the whole story is that he was actually able to open up a doctor's office and start practicing without any kind of doctrine whatsoever. And he kept on doing it over time, over time, over time, and it just kept on going on. And for years, Eric, this kid thought that he was a doctor. He would actually he started by going into the hospital, took a freaking jacket, and he just basically told everybody that he was just following the doctors, like he was shadowing the doctors. And for I think it was for 2 months or 3 months or even a month, I don't know, a month, 5 days will be long enough, but he did it for like that long, Eric, and before they caught on to him, like, wait, who are you? And the reason why they caught on to it is because he tried to go into a birth, a a pregnancy, and everybody's like, "Wait, who are you? Why are you here?" And so they finally caught on to him, and that was the first charge he got. But it didn't stop, man. He kept on doing it. So, guys, there is people out there that will consider and say that they are somebody of knowledge, and yep, they sure are. So watch out who you
It's
guys
actually
talk
funny
with.
you put that. So I used to own a telecommunications company way back when, and if you ever seen those people that work on phones, they used to have a belt with all the tools and the phone set and things like that that hang for your belt. You could literally walk into any building and be like, "Hey, I need into that locked place," and people would open doors for you and without asking questions and do whatever you asked them to do because you looked the part and you looked like you knew what you were doing. And I think there's a lot of people that trust in those kind of things. You put on a white coat, that's no different.
Yeah, well, that actually happened yesterday over at the salon. Some random dude walked in and says, "Hey, I'm here for the fire extinguishers." And I didn't know anything about it. Sassy didn't know anything about it, and so I was like, "All right, I'll be there," because I was out doing errands. And I said, "I'll be there in a minute." She goes, "This is something for you to do." I was like, "All right, cool." I show up, and of course there was a guy there. He had a vehicle that was that vehicle, fire safety, and obviously I questioned him. I was like, "Who are you? What are you doing? And why are you here?" And it's not bad to question people. So make sure you guys question those
Do
crazy
you
people,
remember
man.
last year the people that were going around selling fire insurance that were criminals from the
Yes.
yeah that whole thing, right?
Yeah, that blew up, man. That would have been cool to watch. But man, yeah, this type of stuff happens, guys. So be careful, man. A
That's
lot of people are out there just acting a crazy fool, and obviously now is even more like watch out moments, man, because a lot of people are vulnerable. They are so confused. They don't know exactly what's happening. They're. I think that a lot of us are vulnerable. So anything that we hear or see, we're gonna obviously be cautious, but we're also following into some weird stuff. Like if somebody says you have to do something, you know, it just question everything, guys. Just question it. Even if the doctor says you got to have this medicine, please question it. It's just one of those things that you just have to question. And I question my dad's doctors all the time. Like, why does he need this medicine? And they'll be like, "Oh, we're just trying it out." And I'm like, "No, you're not trying that out on my dad. Try it out on the next patient." I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel like my dad deserves medication, but don't try that out on my father. And then I ask questions about how come you don't talk about natural medicines, and they're like, "We're not allowed to." And I'm like, "Okay, right on." Education stops when it comes to the main doctors out here, man. So question people, man. This is. I guess that's what's happening.
as an organization I was once part of. Their slogan was "Question everything." So
I think I remember that, Eric.
yeah,
I think I remember that. I have a friend that's in a band, and the band is called Authority Zero. So just imagine what that kind of consists of. It's a
going
punk
to
band.
Seattle, I hear a 6 block radius is looking for some concert goers.
I don't know, man. I mean, all the punk bands might want to go ahead and check it out, but how are they going to pay for it? There's no currency.
It's true. It's true. Well, all right, bud. Well, you know what? It's been a good show, but it's that time.
All right, I'm good, man. I got to go in here. Ceci probably needs me. Kiki probably needs me. She's been sedated on some value, so we're probably going to see some funny things happen. I might record it, but we'll see. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace, love, and happiness. Let's not be war. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, at a great location, and let's make some good things happen today, you guys. Go out there and do something special for somebody. Smile. Try not to hug, but if you want to hug, man, hug somebody if you need it.
Make
It's
sure
good
you
for
ask
you.
first.
Yeah, yeah. Wash your hands afterwards.
Right.
Burn your clothes. Wash your hands. Go take a hot scoring shower.
Right. All of that. All right. All right, everybody.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. I'll talk to you later. Later, Instagram. Later, YouTube. Later, Facebook.